Today imported from China. There's a glass factory in Aba. Do you know there is a textile mill in Aba where they weave cloth? Do you know that in Aba they used to make soap and detergent? Today imported from China. Somebody sat down in Lagos as a government minister and head of state and destroyed all these businesses. The same person is telling you about one Nigeria. You took me out of my job that I was doing. That was the reason why PZ, Patterson Sokonis in Abade left. That was the reason why Lever Brothers left. That is the reason why Leventis left. Some of you may remember Leonard Shoes in Aba, even in Omaha. You may remember Bata Shoes in Aba, even in Omaha. In Omaha, we had ceramics. We had Golden Guinea. Uncles were working there. Aunties were working there. Economy was very good. Nobody was complaining. Nobody was begging. All of a sudden, one single day, one idiot from Abuja and Lagos decided, let's make their life difficult. Ceramics was shut down. Golden Guinea Omaha shut down. Olon Nampam plantation shut down. The glass factory in Aba is no longer working. And you know, let me tell you how evil they are. They come back and say, all these unemployed youths, that where the youths are supposed to be working, you as a greedy, evil, wicked politician, you shut it down. Now, after graduation, where do you want them to work? Because it's common sense. Some of you don't know that Michelin was in Lagos. They used to make tire in Lagos. Tire Michelin was in Lagos. You don't know that? Imagine that these Fulani, Janjaweed, primitive people had the mindset to say, let's grow the economy. By now, there will be no banditry because people will go to work. By the time you finish work, you get home and your wife or your girlfriend will handle you very well. You will not have any time. You'll be thinking about the alarm waking you up the next day to go to work. Do you understand? All of these things I'm saying is not rocket science. It's simple common sense. Do you know the white man has it, black people don't? Those that do in the black world are very, very few, insignificant few. As somebody said, these are blood-sucking fools. You got a politician. Our senator from he spoke on the floor of the house. You see that wretched girl at Channels TV. That stupid girl. I don't know what they call that idiot. Trying to, I don't know the English, trying to mimic a white accent. Let me show you. I don't know what her name is. The one that interviewed Senator Balibe the other day. You see all these things. Ask the minister, please, minister, the largest textile mill in the whole of Africa, with the exception of South Africa, was in Kaduna. Kaduna, the largest textile mill. It is shut down. There is a car company called Leland Dav. Iveco, IVEC, I think it's an Italian company. They used to assemble their cars. Do you know there was a time, this thing now that Emerson is doing, you know there was a time that Volkswagen from Germany was assembling their cars in Nigeria. You know that Peugeot was assembling their cars in Nigeria. I don't know if you're aware of it. No, some of you are too young. You don't know. Then, was anybody complaining of hunger? Was anybody complaining? In those days, all you need to do to be able to, you don't need to buy any bone straight hair. All you need to do is to write a very good letter to somebody you like, and they will respond. You don't need money to do anything. Money for what? Everybody's feeling very well. These idiots, they never liked it. They don't like it one bit. They want to control you. How Fulani control you is by making all of you poor. By making you poor, you start to eat each other, to grovel. Even when you're hungry, you start looking for something to eat immediately. That was why they broke NSAS, the first protest and the second one, because all of you are hungry, they made it so. Once a black person is hungry, you can control them anyhow you like.
Nothing could be further from the truth. Slavery didn't destroy the black family. Do you know that we were still getting married through slavery? Jump in a broom, in secret, even under punishment of death. We were married during Reconstruction. We were married during civil rights. When do you begin to see the rise of the single-parented black female household? 1970. After they killed Dr. King, the United States government said we must neutralize the black power base. And they determined that the black power base was the black family. It was independent black skilled men and women who financed King, financed Mr. Garvey, financed Mr. Muhammad, financed SNCC and CORE, the Freedom Riders and the sit-in movement. So they said, if we want to crush the black struggle, we got to crush the black family. So guess what they did in 1970? King dies in 68. In 1970, they came into the black communities and deindustrialized our city centers. In 1970, they started shutting down the factories. Remember, up until the 50s and 60s, you didn't need a college degree to get a decent job. Many of us got grandparents who worked in factories their whole life and lived better lives than we're living now with 2 and 3 degrees. They could work in their same neighborhood, and everybody worked for the factory. Good retirement, pension, benefits, medical. They started shutting down the factories in 1970, and then they went into the high schools and did what? Started deindustrializing the inner city high schools. Up until 1970, you could graduate from almost any school in New York certified as a plumber, certified as an electrician, certified as a carpenter, auto body, brick mason, a welder. They took all those programs out. These are the skills that pays the bills, gentlemen. As long as you have a skill, you can always feed your family. But if all you got is college degrees, you might end up in the unemployment line. Why? Because the skills that we learn in college are not necessarily marketable to other black people. I'm a psychologist. Ain't too many black people running around looking for a psychologist to reveal all the skeletons in their closet.
Yeah, you got to talk to a white
Exactly. So they started sending us to college instead of teaching us how to work with our hands. That was the 70s. That was the economic castration of the black male. Now let's go to 1980. The CIA comes in, cocaine import agency. They drop off crack. So now the unemployed black man, who has always been a breadwinner, Envy, even in slavery, we were always the breadwinner up until 1970. Now the crack comes. You got a decision. I can sell this crack and try to put some food on the table, or I can smoke it to deal with the fact that I'm no longer economically relevant to the black woman. And let's be clear, the decade of the 70s was the decade of making the black man economically irrelevant to the black woman. We're the only man in America who is out-earned and out-educated by our mates. No other woman in America out-earns and out-educates their mates. And this is not the black woman's problem. I want to be clear. This was systematically done to make us irrelevant to our families. Then the 1990s come, Bill Clinton crime bill. 3 strikes and you out. Mandatory minimum wages, the Bill Clinton crime bill. Now all those unemployed black men who got caught smoking crack or selling crack now being sent off to jail. And then they also give us the ADHD so that we could dope the kids up with the same medicine that sent the father to jail. Then the year 2000 come, George Bush hits us with the what? Faith-based initiative. He finds a loophole in federal law that allows you to finance churches. So now the mega churches and the medium-sized churches in the black community, Charlemagne, are being financed by the government. You think it's a coincidence, Envy, that you don't see no major churches involved in the miseducation movement? No major churches involved in the mass incarceration movement? No major churches involved in police genocide? No major churches involved in poverty? Where is the black church in 2017 when it comes to black people issues? They're missing in action because they're being paid by the government to stay out of the struggle. And that's why it's called faith-based initiative. Your pastor is the